Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Abortion and marijuana will be on the ballot this May, but can a city election really decide these issues? Both sides weigh in tonight.
And the board in Uvalde, no longer looking for a new superintendent for now. The reason why trustees have changed their minds.
Plus, you may not think a U-Haul full of stolen doors and cabinets has any effect on your wallet. Coming up, why you may be wrong. But first, San Antonio voters will have their say on abortion and marijuana decriminalization this year. A petition to put the so-called San Antonio Justice Charter policy on the ballot has more than 21,000 verified signatures. That means it will go to voters on May 6th.
But as the night team's John Paul Barajas explains, city officials are raising questions about whether the policy can even be enforced.
The San Antonio Justice Charter policy aims to amend 6 parts of the city's current charter. But even if voters pass it, City Attorney Andy Segovia says it won't have much of an impact.
Will not legalize marijuana. It will not legalize abortion. It will not create a complete ban on chokeholds. 5 of the 6 proposed amendments cannot be enforced due to state law. That includes ending enforcement of low-level marijuana possession, ending enforcement of abortion crimes, banning no-knock police warrants, banning police chokeholds, and prioritizing citations instead of arrests for low-level nonviolent crimes.
If this is passed in May, both the city attorney, the city council, our mayor, what their job to do is to back us up and represent us if this does get challenged in court, not to roll over immediately.
Ananda Thomas is with Act for SA, one of the many groups behind the initiative. She believes although much of the proposal goes against state law, that it can be fought.
We saw the city, right, fight for sanctuary cities and against SB4, and they did that knowing that there might be a challenge from the state, knowing that that was coming.
Similar proposals have been passed in other cities such as Austin. To that, Segovia says,
we follow the law. I mean, I'm not being facetious. I don't think reasonable minds can differ that these things are absolutely inconsistent with state law.
The 6th part of the proposal calls for a justice director who would report directly to city council. According to Segovia, that's the one thing the city could legally do.
Somebody that can hold those kinds of conversations with immigration rights groups or disability rights groups and policing and come up with better policies.
Thomas has this message for voters.
We're not only putting the conversation out there, but we as a community are taking a vote and letting our city leadership from now through the future know how we feel about this and what they need to fight for.
The city attorney says voters have every right to vote in favor of the amendments, and if passed, they will change the current language of the charter, but that the city will not go against or enforce any of those things that go against state law. It's also worth noting that if the charter is changed, the city will not be allowed to change it again for at least 2 years, meaning November of 2025. At City Hall, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. I want to get to some breaking news right now. At least 2 people are hurt, including a pedestrian, after a crash involving a motorcycle. San Antonio police say 2 people were hit while they were crossing the street in the crosswalk at Martin and General McMullen. That's on the west side. Both the pedestrians and the driver of that motorcycle taken to the hospital. Police say one of those pedestrians was seriously hurt. The other expected to be okay. The motorcycle driver was in critical condition at last check. Police are still investigating what led up to that crash. Well, we've got some more news coming out of City Hall right now, and you may think it stinks. You'd be right. The city says your solid waste fees, your trash fees will likely be going up next budget year. The possibility has been thrown around since at least May. City staff says costs are rising for personnel, fuel, equipment, landfill fees. The city says it's been able to hold off a rate increase so far, but that's about to change. For example, in September of 2021, the city ended the fiscal year with more than $15 million in the solid waste fund. This fall, it expects to have less than $500,000.
The way the solid waste fee works, it is a static fee. It is one price for the garbage can, and that's it. But our costs continue to increase, so we either are going to have to increase the rate or we reduce service.
The trash bills have remained flat for 4 years. Today's presentation did not specify how much a new increase could be, but a plan is expected to be discussed in May during the next budget discussion. The search for a new superintendent for Uvalde Consolidated ISD now on pause. School district board members deciding to suspend the search during their meeting on Monday. Trustees say implementing another change so quickly within the district would not be in the best interest of the district. Gary Patterson, who was hired as the interim superintendent last year, will continue in that role. As of right now, the school board says it does not have a definitive timeline as to when the search for a permanent superintendent will resume. Southwest Airlines officials landing in the hot seat again. The company's COO, along with the president of its Pilots Association, will testify before the Senate Commerce Committee tomorrow. Senators investigating the scheduling issues in late December when the airline canceled more than 16,000 flights, leaving some 2 million passengers stranded. The Pilots Association expected to introduce new evidence, including a photo of a message sent during the meltdown to a cockpit computer. That message said, quote, "Sked is asking to confirm who is operating this flight. It's a mess down here," end quote. In addition, Southwest COO is expected to apologize.
Well, a sign of progress in the ongoing negotiations between railroad company and union workers. 2 railroad unions reached a deal for paid sick time with CSX Railroad. At least 5,000 engineers and mechanical workers employed by CSX will now get 4 days off paid sick leave each year at full pay. Paid sick time was a sticking point in last year's contract negotiations between 12 railroad unions and U.S. freight railroads. That almost sent tens of thousands of railroad workers on strike, prompting Congress to step in and stop that from happening. The company's decision on paid sick time set a new precedent for U.S. freight railroad companies. Now, officials are now looking to broker an agreement with the remaining 10 unions.
And now to the latest on that deadly earthquake in Turkey and Syria. The death toll now reaching more than 12,000 as rescuers race against time and the weather to locate more survivors. ABC News confirming among the dead 3 U.S. citizens. The U.S. State Department says it's working to help their families and other U.S. citizens in the affected region. 3 days after that 7.8 magnitude earthquake and powerful aftershocks, hopes for a miracle are dwindling. More than 70 countries have sent resources and aid, but a lot of it is not going to Syria because of economic sanctions and political issues in that country from the ongoing war.
Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat news flash. Well, scary moments during today's proceedings in the Alex Murdaugh murder trial after someone called in a bomb threat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to evacuate the building at this time, so we'll be in recess until we discover what's going on.
The abrupt announcement interrupting testimony in a disgraced attorney's trial. The entire courthouse was evacuated. Law enforcement did a sweep of the courthouse before giving the all clear. Murdaugh's trial resumed. No word of authorities know who called in that threat. And the suspect in the machete attack in New York on New Year's Eve in court, 19-year-old Trevor Bickford, entered a not guilty plea to numerous state charges, including first-degree attempted murder. Prosecutors say Bickford traveled to New York to, quote, kill people and carry out jihad, end quote. He's accused of injuring 3 New York police officers in Times Square. Bickford is also facing federal charges of 4 counts of attempted murder. And just over a month after Damar Hamlin's heart stopped during an NFL Monday night game, he was in Phoenix in person to receive an award. The Buffalo Bills safety was presented with this year's NFL Players Association Alan Page Community Award. The award recognizes a player who demonstrates a profound dedication to positively impacting his team's city and communities across the nation. Hamlin raised more than $9 million for his Chasing M's Foundation. In the wake of his collapse, the award includes a $100,000 donation for his charity. And that is a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
We have a recall to tell you about. The Consumer Product Safety Commission recalling Fabuloso multi-purpose cleaners. It says it may contain bacteria that could be harmful to people with weakened immune systems or underlying lung conditions if inhaled or absorbed through the eyes or broken skin. The affected products were sold on Amazon and at retail stores like Dollar General, Sam's Club, and Walmart. You can check to see if a refund or replacement is being offered by contacting the Colgate-Palmolive company.
Well, new homes hit by thieves before homeowners could even move in. 2 men are accused of stealing thousands of dollars in goods from a new construction site, but San Antonio police say it's happened before.
It was often enough to where our South property crimes detectives decided, that this property needed trackers.
The device that led police to the suspects and how crimes like this could cost you money.
Plus, a cancer survivor using his second chance at life to help others. The gift he hopes to give patients just like him with a little help from the community. And it's almost time to Rodeo San Antonio. Sky 12 live over the grounds at the AT&T Center, where things will be a lot busier this time tomorrow. Now, if you can't make it for opening night, boy, do we have you covered here at KSAT 12. Our live rodeo special begins at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We're going to take you inside the AT&T Center itself and to the grounds all over there. We're going to follow that, of course, by the Nightbeat tomorrow night. We'll be right back. And technology the size of some spare change helped San Antonio police recover thousands of dollars in stolen construction materials.
The owner, a local builder, says a $30 Apple AirTag led police to the missing merchandise. But when it comes to this kind of crime, home buyers could end up paying for the loss.
This small tracker led police to a truckload of stolen loot, all taken from a new home construction site on the south side.
They see a U-Haul truck. They run that plate of the U-Haul truck, it's stolen, and the tracker's hitting right to that U-Haul truck.
Hours later, San Antonio police walked Ernest Morales and Eddie Alvarez to jail, both facing charges for theft and felon in possession of a firearm. Police say the U-Haul truck they're accused of stealing was full of home appliances, new doors, and cabinets.
As they have been getting heavily burglarized in their new home.
San Antonio. Laura Mendel, president of the San Antonio chapter of Associated General Contractors, says this type of crime hurts more than just the builders.
Incidents like this also do raise insurance for our general contractors, and those costs eventually at some point will get passed to the owners because they have to charge a little more or whatever to cover their costs.
Builders say it can also delay construction, and with a material shortage, that could mean a longer wait for home buyers ready to move in. Mendel says builders have spent thousands installing cameras and hiring security, but sometimes it does little to deter thieves.
This one company that I'm talking about, they said in the past year, they're looking at $125,000 in losses from theft incidents. I mean, that's a big chunk of money.
So what happens to those items? Well, it's hard to say where they're being sold. One buyer guessed maybe the flea markets.
It's costing us. Something as simple as a blanket can make a kid going through a tough time feel loved. That's the inspiration behind the Wrapped in Love blanket drive. That drive is just the latest in a string of collection efforts by the Stay Strong Foundation. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because we've been following the founder, cancer survivor Noah Adams, for several years. His mom tells us it's his way of giving back.
It's just a way to show some more love to the kids and give them something familiar and cozy and comfy to take with them to their appointments and doctor visits and such.
Yeah, we started following Noah when he was a student at Central Catholic. Debbie Harper says her son Noah was given a blanket when he was going through chemo treatments. That eventually inspired the volunteer nonprofit. Blankets collected tonight will go to pediatric patients at University Hospital. You can still donate, and we'd love for you to, by texting blanket to 53555.
All right, a live look outside, 46 degrees. It's going to get hot tomorrow, and then it's going to get cold, Adam.
We're going to see some temperature swings in the days ahead. Yes, you're going to notice the temperature changes, and you'll have to prepare for them. First thing tomorrow morning, there's going to be a chill in the air. We'll be right around 40 degrees downtown, but Most of you in the mid to upper 30s. Outline areas. I mean, we're talking 37 in Bulverde, 40 degrees on the west side, 39 on the south side. You get out to Hondo, 37 degrees. You get the idea. By the afternoon, we warm up nicely, right up near 70 with sunshine the vast majority of the day. The exception is a little bit of fog early tomorrow morning. But look at this temperature roller coaster from 70 tomorrow, for the high temperature that is, to 58 for the high on Friday. And then this weekend, we're right near 60 before temperatures rebound again. And also a freeze in the forecast. We'll get to that in a moment. I want to talk rain chances again. Let's take a look at the big system that provided some much needed moisture for us. And by the way, we will have an updated drought monitor tomorrow. Every Thursday it's updated. However, it's not going to take into account all the rain that we picked up over the past 36 hours. The next week's will, however. Upper level system over Oklahoma. Good deep moisture with it. It's really tapping into that Gulf moisture now, leading to severe weather, though, Louisiana and now into Mississippi. But that's the kind of rain that we need. I mean, I'm not complaining about what we got, but we could use that deeper rain, that heavier rain, that deeper moisture. There are two more upper disturbances that are going to head our way. The first one is in Wyoming right now. That's going to drop in Thursday into Friday. Dry. We'll have some energy, but not all the ingredients. Zero chance of rain with this disturbance, but you will notice it. It's going to provide a cold front, kick up the wind, and give us a reinforcing shot of colder air. Then into the weekend, we'll see another system drop into the west coast and then move toward Texas by Monday night into early Tuesday. That system shows more promise for scattered showers and even some thunderstorms. Monday, we could have a few showers pop up, but mainly Monday night into early Tuesday. That's our next chance of some real rain. And by the way, speaking of real rain, officially at the airport, we picked up 0.54 inches of rainfall at the airport from the event. And I'll show you some more rainfall totals in a moment. First, I want to go through the forecast here. The cold front hits tomorrow night, very windy on Wednesday. We're talking gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Sunny and 38 in the morning, 58 in the afternoon on Wednesday. By Saturday, light freeze in the morning at 31 degrees, then high temperatures right around 60. A lot of sunshine Thursday through Saturday. By Sunday, some increasing clouds, but no rain. Those rain chances ramp up then again Monday night on into Tuesday. Here's the key, though. No freezing temperatures there. We're just looking at rain again and not icing. Now, speaking of rain, I mentioned this, and take a look at the rainfall total. This was in southern Bexar County, 1.5 inches in southern Bexar County, posted by our KSAT Connect viewer there. That was good to see. Look at the radar estimates, and really the west side is who got lucky in this event. The west side of San Antonio from 410 to 1604. And look around Brandeis High School, UTSA. Radar estimates of around 2 inches there, just basically a block away from Brandeis High School right there on Ranchwell Cove. So it was good to see some of those rainfall accumulations. However, check this out. We're about half the year to date, or I should say half the normal rainfall over the past 365 days. So we need to catch up.
Not going to complain about that, only that I had already washed my van and then it rained.
Yeah.
I should have listened, right?
But no, it's all right. It's good. It's good. Tempt the rain. We need the rain.
Tempt it. That's exactly what I did.
Exactly right. All right. Another one of those games tonight, Larry, where the Spurs are in the game. They're in the game. They're in the game. They're not in the game.
It's weird to see how quickly games can get away from the Spurs these days. And once again, they were in Toronto. The Spurs had the lead, but then they lost the lead and they could never recover. And in particular, Jakob says it's the Raptors' defense. And we have more high school signings stopping by Marion and Clark today. Coming up. Spurs played out the Raptors tonight, looking to snap their 9-game slide. Didn't happen. First quarter, Keldon Johnson, who's playing on a sore left ankle, drives and makes a sweet right-handed layup, 5-4 Spurs. Later on, Pascal Siakam sinks a three-pointer following a Spurs turnover in his 22-17 Toronto. Part of his 18 first quarter points, and the Raptors led 34-24 after one. Second quarter, Zach Collins, who likes the city of Toronto, breaks off a finger roll. The Spurs are down 35-32. Spurs take the lead right here. Stanley Johnson steals the inbounds pass and feeds Malachi Branham for for a bank shot to make it 47-45 Spurs, but the Raptors led 57-54 at halftime. Third quarter now, Spurs still playing from behind. Josh Richardson fires a laser to Jakob Poeltl for an easy layup, and they're down 65-58. Cue up Doug McDermott for three. Now the Spurs trailed by as many as 18 points. They were down 13 after three. Fourth quarter, now the Spurs could never get over the hump, and they lose at Toronto 112-98, suffering their 10th straight loss.
They play very unorthodox defense, so sometimes it's tough to find the right reads. Like, they're very aggressive, but I think we found some good passes tonight. It wasn't enough. We made a couple too many mistakes. Maybe just missed some shots, but at least we turned the ball over less.
Spurs will continue the rodeo road trip Friday night at the Pistons. Marion High School held its National Signing Day ceremony in the high school gym this afternoon. 6 Bulldogs were celebrated for a job well done, including 4 football players. Dylan De Hoyos will attend Northwestern College. Aiden Rios is off to Hardin-Simmons University. Dominic the Destroyer Castellanos and Kenneth Irwin will be teammates at Sul Ross University. Jackie Fly is going to UTSA for powerlifting, and Haley Maybe is taking her volleyball skills to Temple College.
It makes me feel very excited, and I feel like I'm representing like this small community, and yeah, I'm very proud.
It is great. It's real great. I mean, I'm at a loss of words of how happy I am, how excited I am to just go play some football.
Over at Clark High School, 4 Cougars signed their letters of intent this evening. That includes 3 members of the football team. Ben Gibson is heading to Trinity University. Lamar Hunter Jr. is going to Southern Nazarene University. And Michael Vasquez is signing with Lamar University. Swimmer Braden Mandacina will compete at Xavier University.
Coach Gibson and the whole coaching staff are very welcoming, open with open arms, and I love the place. I love the atmosphere, and I'm ready to go already.
I wanted to find somewhere that would suit me good academics too, and I found the perfect fit with Xavier. Everyone was super close, not just in the pool but out of the pool, and everyone was super good friends, and it made them better people outside the pool, but it also strive to get better in the pool.
At Southside High School, football player Elijah Solis signed his letter of intent to attend William Penn University. His mom, dad, brothers, and sisters are right there by his side. For more signings, please head to the BGC page at KSAT.com.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
The build-up to Super Bowl 57 still has a ways to go, which is a good thing for Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He suffered a high right ankle sprain in the divisional round against the Jaguars 2.5 weeks ago and was less than 100% in the AFC Championship. Today, Mahomes said he's definitely in a better spot in regards to his ankle. 100% or not, the Eagles defense knows they have to slow him down.
It's up there. I played so many good offenses. They're special. They got a lot of special players. And they do a lot of different things. They throw a lot of different stuff at you.
Mahomes make them go. Mahomes is the guy that extends the plays and drops the dimes, and he's done some great things from just watching film and then just watching them on TV.
Mahomes said he doesn't expect to be limited when the Chiefs play the Eagles Sunday, 5:30 p.m. in Glendale, Arizona. The San Antonio Brahmas wrapped up training camp next. Well, welcome back, everybody. The San Antonio Brahmas wrapped up training camp today in Justin, which is north of Fort Worth. The Brahmas opened up camp on January the 14th at Northwest ISD Stadium with an eye on their season opener, which is Sunday the 19th when they host St. Louis at 2 p.m. at the Alamo Dome. This will be the first time fans will get to see the Brahmas on the field in person, and the team, they cannot wait.
A great fan base is critical to a team's success, and I feel like San Antonio is a great place to establish a professional team. I actually heard a lot of things where they actually wanted the team down there, and I know the AAF had a team down there, and it was pretty lit in the Alamo Bowl. So I'm excited to form a team down there. I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm excited to be part of that fan base.
The team will host a Meet the Brahmas tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. at Alamo Beer Company. Coach Ward and select players will be on hand. The event is open to the public.
Need to be part of the bullpen.
We do. Absolutely.
I hope they have a bullpen. That's what I'm saying. That's what they need. That's what they, It's my marketing idea. I don't know if you remember that a few years
I do remember that.
We'll be right back.
Here's a KSAT 12-hour forecast. Some patchy fog early up until about 8 a.m. 40 degrees early, but remember, that's mainly within 410. Outlying areas, some upper 30s. By noon, we're up to 63, so jacket in the morning, short sleeves just fine in the afternoon, up near 70. Get ready for a gusty Friday and cooler.
What are the flowers for?
I don't know, some kind of holiday.
We'll see you tomorrow.